Hello friends, today's topic is Chevron laying off. Let's rant.
The difference between working for a big corporation or a smaller company or third-party company is that a big corporation will fire or let people go to increase their profits. And that's what Chevron is doing right now. They're going to be letting go of 20% of their worldwide employees. So that means around 6,000 to 8,000 people will be out of a job by the end of 2025. And on top of firing these 8,000 people, they're going to put all the work that these 8,000 people are doing onto somebody else and barely give them a raise or compensate them for the extra work they're going to have to be doing. Sometimes working for a smaller company, it's a lot better because you are able to grow with that company. You're able to put yourself out there for them, and you're not just a number. A big corporation is harder to move up the ladder. It's harder to become somebody in their company, and rarely a higher position will always be passed down to a family member or somebody they know real close. Regardless, it's very unfortunate of this situation. That's crazy to know that around 8,000 people are going to be fired worldwide from Chevron. Best of luck to those people, and just bless everybody. Peace and love.
Realizing that your job is on the chopping block is a very surreal, out-of-body experience. And if you have never been laid off, or you don't work in an industry that regularly lays people off, you might not understand. For those of us who do, or have experienced in the past, the signs are as clear as day. Here are some things that you will notice if you're about to lose your job. Number one, the management that you regularly interact with, they're going to get a lot colder. No more good mornings, no more have a good night, no more chit chat. It will be cut, paste, very, very dry because they already know. Any request for PTO, leaving early for a doctor's appointment, you're going to get the largest side eye in the world. You're going to feel like you're under a microscope. They're suddenly going to ask for reports of what you do every day, reports of what you do every week, to be CC'd on every single email you send, to prove that you're working. And lastly, you should take note of how often your HR representative is in a closed-door meeting with your direct supervisor because they're talking about you.
So, boys and girls, as many of you may know, today is my last day at Chevron. It's been a long time coming. I've been working here since 2017. About a year or so ago, maybe, I left for a few months, but I ended up coming back because I have a bad habit of working 2 or 3 jobs at a time because I'm crazy. But there's multiple reasons I'm leaving, which I'll maybe discuss later on in another video. But anywho, I'm super excited to see where my career journey is gonna go. There's an endless of opportunities I could do. I have quite a lot of experience underneath my belt in multiple different fields. But what I'm really excited about is being able to spend a lot more time with my kid, able to get back into my workout routine like I was and focus more on the things that matter the most, because these jobs do not care about you or your family or anything you have going on. Don't let them fool you. But yeah, I'm super excited about where this is gonna go. So I won't be making videos at Chevron anymore while I'm working. They'll be at home or on my other job or on my new job. I'm still gonna make videos. Might actually make more videos now that I have more time to myself. So the message for today is, if you're not happy at that job or in that relationship or where you live or with what's going on in your life, change it. Leave that job. Break up with that girl or guy or them, they, whatever. Move. Do whatever you gotta do so you are happy, healthy. Those things are very important, especially if you have children. It is important for your children to see you happy and healthy, y'all. So that's my video for today. Happy Sunday, y'all. Love y'all. Behave.
It seems like no job is safe. What do you think?
All right, February 13th, breaking news. We have more companies scaling back diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. Now the list is Google, Meta, Walmart, and Target. And as has gone viral, Google has changed their calendar based on a lot of these initiatives. And so something to evaluate in your company to comply with the certain changes in our government in the Oval Office, and important now to communicate effectively and clearly to your audience and employees why these changes might be taking place and what we can do to maintain trust and morale. Number 2, business news. We have Chevron announcing a significant workforce reduction by 20%, which is about 8,000 employees are going to drop by the end of 2026. They want to streamline operations and achieve cost savings amid industry challenges. Unfortunately, we as business owners, we will probably have to follow suit in that way and find out ways to restructure and become more efficient. So assess those operations, give your employees support, and find ways to implement training or give them tools that they need to help grow the company rather than, sort of be outpaced by AI. We ought to train the employees to leverage AI and production. We have a lot of tools that are coming out, softwares and so forth. It is a good time to reevaluate your training protocol. Number 3, business news. We have producer prices increased slightly above expectations. So the price index has demand rose 0.4% in January, following a 0.5% gain in December. So it's 0.9% total, which could influence the Federal Reserve's monetary policy decisions. So we have kind of a need now, based on that news, that we ought to consider potentially adjusting pricing. Your strategies to maintain profitability. Some people will implement more of like a monthly model that's cheaper but still consistent to keep their audience on board. Other businesses will just manage cost effectively and cut certain expenses that are reoccurring. And so it's really important now to look at these operational efficiencies and just make sure that you have your business staying afloat amid these price increase times. So that's today's news, coupled with some of the advice from ChatGPT. And if you want more news like this, and if you want me to stay posting regularly, give me a follow, and I will provide you with not only the news, but the advice that kind of comes along with the news. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.
Breaking: Chevron to lay off 20% of its entire workforce globally. That's 1/5 of the entire workforce. Now, Chevron actually wants us to believe that these massive layoffs are not a sign of broader problems at the company. Sure, Chevron, we believe you. And we're sure that your oil and gas reserves falling to the lowest point in at least a decade have nothing to do with this massive layoff. Just like we're sure that these mass layoffs have nothing to do with the labor market and the economy actually being terrible. Just like we don't think that the fact that many people are literally taking months to find a job means that something's wrong with the labor market. Anyway, I digress. Chevron plans to cut over $3 billion in cost, and getting rid of workers is one of the first and easiest ways to do it. I'll go out on a limb and say that there are likely some problems in Chevron. I'll go out on another limb and say, don't expect this to be the last mass firing that you see this year. Chevron, for pretending that you don't have any major issues, even though you're getting rid of 1/5 of your entire workforce, you've just made the D3 List, a podcast about dumb, desperate, and diabolical business decisions.
Story time about how winning $500 got me fired. I'm 22. I'm working for Chevron, and it's my only second job since I left the military. And eventually, over time, I became one of the only 2 graveyard shift people. And one of my duties when I would show up for my graveyard shift would be to look over the lottery sheet for the tickets to make sure all the numbers were correct and that the day shift had written down everything okay. Well, something I would used to do would be to take a ticket, right? Scan it, pay for it, mark the numbers down on the sheet, and then just go about my day. And everything was going okay until one night I happened to win $500. And then I made the mistake of telling my other night shift coworker about it. Because what I did not know at the time was that the manager has to put all that information at the end of the night, or the assistant manager, to corporate, right? And so if some of the numbers aren't matching in the opening shift in the morning to the night shift of what the manager or the assistant manager put in, then there's like a discrepancy and there's a problem. And well, for a couple of months, the company had been trying to figure out where that discrepancy problem was generating from. And let me just say this, while I understand that my actions might have created a problem in the numbers and trying to figure out what happened, at the end of the day, I still paid for it, so what happened shouldn't have happened, in my opinion. But yeah, coworker told manager then of course had to tell corporate, and corporate gave me the Here's the thing, I should have known better than telling her that, because when we went out on our company picnic the day after my birthday and I tried every alcohol under the goddamn sun and ended up puking on a toilet and passing out, apparently that same coworker has pictures of me passed out on that toilet. I should have known better.
Money problems, dating problems, and life problems. When does it stop? Comment down below, and thank you for watching until next time.